Welcome, everybody. This is Jay Hill. I'm your host, Studio 6 Paranormal Podcast with my wonderful co-host, Shane Feek. How you living?
Doing all right. A little
Good.
bit tired. Been on a
Yeah.
ghost hunt last night and just ate a lot of good food that my wife made, and so now I'm a little bit
Sleepy?
sleepy. That would be the word.
Right on, right on. Okay, tonight we have some great guests. Becca Thomas and Hannah Sprague. So we're pretty excited about that. Excited to get into what they got going on. This was a recommendation from my wonderful co-host Shane Feek, and I totally agreed. And so, without further ado, let's get these ladies going here.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey. How's it going?
pretty good. Been a long day.
Yeah.
for all of us.
Right on. Right on. Well, yeah, Shane put you guys on my radar a while ago, and I was more than happy to oblige. And so I'm friends with you, Becca. Hannah, I have not really known you very much, but I am, looking forward to change that. So, why don't we get started? And why don't you talk a little bit about who you are and what you guys are doing right now?
Becca, you start.
Okay. Well, me and
I love the
another-
background, by the way. That's
Oh yeah, it
that's
is
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love my lights, but I've always been kind of into the paranormal from having experiences when I was younger. But really, growing up with my mom, she was very spiritual and into all of that kind of thing. So she taught me from a young age about spirituality and the other side. And we used to go to like graveyards and stuff. And she's the one that first got me into investigating out in Litchfield, Maine. And from there, it just bloomed into a love of it. I can't get enough of it. I want to learn more. Like my opinion, I like when my opinion changes with new information.
Mhm.
And I ran into Hannah. We used to work together and found out she was into the paranormal and told me about a family member's house that was haunted. And we went and investigated, and some of the stuff we caught that day was just phenomenal.
That's awesome.
She had a full-on conversation through the EVP spirit box with a family member. But halfway through that investigation, my other team member at the time and I went out to have a cigarette, and we talked about it, and we asked Hannah that day if she wanted to investigate and be on the team with us. So that's how
That's
that
awesome.
came about.
Double trouble.
So how about you, Hannah?
I've had experiences my whole life. Pretty much everything from things turning on and whatnot. And I've always wanted to get to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
Be logical about it, not just be like, oh my God, it's a ghost.
Right.
And
That's great.
the investigation part is what really interests me because I love technology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're my kind of person then,
Right.
because I love technology.
Shane is the paranormal nerd.
Yes, I
Ladies
am.
and gentlemen.
Yep.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we kind of work really well together, because he's like the yin and yang. You know what I mean? He's the tech side and all about numbers, and I'm more of the spiritual side. So yeah, it just works. We've had
Yep.
some really good conversations over the couple years. God, yeah, we've been doing this for a
Yeah,
little bit now.
50 some 60. I don't know. We got a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we do.
I never even
Yeah.
kept counting.
So, Becca, let me start with you again, and talk a little bit about some of the experiences that you've had that have really kind of just drew you into, the paranormal field in itself. I mean, was there something that stood out that really just, I can't ignore this anymore type thing?
Well, as a kid, at my dad's house, I found out at a young age that my stepmother's ex-husband had passed away in the house. So that probably didn't help the matter for being a young kid and the fear of it. But I used to get told it was all in my head, but there were times I'd sleep up in the library and I'd hear footsteps, the door would open, just things like that. And they would always tell me, oh, you're imagining it. That's not real. It's not a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then things would happen at my mom's house, and she'd be like, well, yeah, it could be a spirit. You never know. And I had a box that slid right off my bureau one night.
Whoa.
Wow.
I think I was the reason that came about because I had a Ouija board real young, and I was kind of
Uh-oh, Raggy.
yeah, I wasn't the most responsible at the time with it, and after that is when things started really happening at that one house. So there's
Wow.
probably still things to this day, but
Right. Are you? Would you say that you're affected more by the paranormal now than you were when you were little? Before you were little?
no, I feel like there's actually been a block lately for
Okay.
a few years, honestly, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and I just have to get back to where I was previously.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Excellent.
I understand that. How
Yeah.
about you, Hannah? Same question.
I would have to say when I was a kid, I had a lot more experiences than I do now. That seems to be a common theme. I would have to say seeing like an apparition or like a guardian angel. I'm gonna call it that.
Mhm.
Repeatedly.
Mhm.
And finding out that it was a family member that had passed way before I was even born.
Mhm.
My family's home has been in my family for over 200 years. So
Wow.
a lot of generations have come and gone through there. So it's I'd call it a happy haunting.
Okay.
It catches me off guard sometimes, but
Better than a bad one.
yeah, I mean,
You don't
one
want
time
that.
I saw my my great grandmother with her hair rollers in and her moo on, but
That'd be the
I knew
greatest.
she was fine.
Nice. Yeah, I
Love
think
the cat.
I think I've had that, where I've seen in real life. I've seen, family members with that same kind of outfit. So yeah, I could totally. I know what that looks like. But
She was an old Finnish lady.
yeah, yeah. So what are you guys like currently right now? Are you guys currently going on investigations, or are you just researchers, or what do you guys both do? I mean, do you guys hang out together?
when we have time,
Okay.
it's not often. We went out once a couple months back, but I still haven't even gone through that evidence yet.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
I know it's been crazy, but no, we do go out. We both research. We find places. A lot of it's just going out exploring and coming across these cool little sites and whatnot. So
Right. That's the other thing I was
That's
going to ask
fun.
you. If you guys more of explorers, or when you find stuff that you explore and then you like, hey, we need to find out if we can investigate this, or so yeah. So is it would you rather do exploring, or would you rather have like a structured investigation?
I like.
Oh.
Go ahead.
We start out with set points. So
Okay.
certain cemeteries we go
Okay.
Okay.
and investigate, but then from there we just, go where the car wants to go. Like, oh, go right, go left.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. So it
Okay.
works.
Well, they hang out with Adam Began, so they definitely explorers.
Oh, you hang out with Adam?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he's cool.
Adam's
He's-
awesome. Adam
yeah.
and Heather, they're so much fun.
Yep.
Nice Black Label Society hat, Hannah.
Thank you.
We like the cats too. Pretty soon mine will show up.
Yeah.
One of them. I got 5 cats, so
Oh my goodness.
eventually one of them will show up.
Adam's lady asked this question. How did they come up with the name Cemetery Diaries? That's a good question.
So that name came from a previous team member. We had both at the time been trying to think of names, and I could not think of shit. Everything was terrible. Horrible. And she just out of the blue popped out, what about cemetery diaries? And I thought it was perfect because we started out just going to cemeteries just because we liked them. And then we started just, using a recorder, taking pictures. We started slow and it turned into just something. We made a real thing, made a page, and the page started out just to dump our evidence because we use our phones. That way it didn't clog up the phone memory. And it just took off from there. So
that's pretty cool. That's
cool.
a really, really cool name.
Yeah.
I love the name, but the team has changed. So we're going to have to come up with a new name. Which is fine.
But it's hard to do.
Yeah. Well, and every name that ever could be thought of is probably taken. You just got to make sure they're far enough away from you that don't bother.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know how the name for our show kind of just popped into my head one day, and I was like, I really like that, and I'm gonna use it. And it's original.
Yep.
And so it was kind of a play on words, 2 S's and 2 P's.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, it kind of rolls off the tongue. So yeah, so I get it. I really like Cemetery Diaries. That's.
It's a really good name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You guys should coin that. Trademark it.
If I had come up with it, maybe, but.
So, what do you guys? I'm going to ask this question to both of you. Now, either one of you have any spiritual gifts?
I would say moments of clarity. I wouldn't say, it gets a little touchy.
Like active gifts, like you use on a daily basis type thing.
No.
Okay.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I'm about as spiritual as a rock.
As a rock, yep. That's kind of the way it is. But with you, Becca, are you spiritually gifted?
I agree with Hannah. There would have been a time when I was younger where I probably would have said yeah, but now, like I said, with the block and all that, it's not constant by any means. But there are times when it's just this weird knowing of something. Just
your intuition, yeah.
Like it just hits you. You just know it.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Things like that, and just sensing things. But I feel like anybody can sense things because it's energy. I feel like anybody has the ability to try, but
right. Yeah. It's all about the frequencies and the energy and right. I totally agree with that. Now what kind of equipment do you guys use?
Pretty basic.
Okay.
Like I said, started out with cell phones and I got a digital recorder. We got a couple digital recorders, but they were just a pain in the ass. A lot of them didn't work well. I don't think we ordered like the right brand or whatever, but we have the spirit box, the EMF detector. We even used cat balls.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I love cat balls.
Cat balls are fun. We had them on our show before.
Oh yeah, we had
cat
activity
balls,
at the show. That's when Adam was on our show.
Yeah.
That's if you can find that episode on our YouTube channel, and it's stuff with the balls with the cat toys were going off, and when he was talking about what was it, the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and those things were going off, and
was cool.
that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, you could just see it in the back of the.
You could see it. I had the camera set up just right so you could see it, and
Can't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I personally like. I'm a photographer.
Hey, me too.
So I'll go in with my nice camera.
Yep, that's what I just did today.
And I never
last
catch
night.
anything.
Me either.
The
nice cameras don't catch stuff.
She did some great photos of squirrels and birds, and
that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a few of them on her feed.
On her feed. What are you drinking there, Shane?
This would be black velvet.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Right on. You got to have a little extra drink for me then.
Yeah, I'll hit one extra for you.
Okay, thanks.
I'll wait till after the show.
Yeah. I have to live vicariously through other people because I don't drink anymore, and it's really not by choice, but I just don't do it, and so I always have everybody else drink for me. So.
Yeah, We'll roll one for you too, Jay.
Yeah. So let's talk about a certain particular place that you were at that actually kind of spooked both of you. Do you have a place that brings back memories saying, oh, remember that time when we went there and we did this and this happened?
Honestly, the scariest thing that has happened is the moose.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do tell about the moose, please.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Well, there's two moose incidents.
Okay.
I can't remember where it was, but it was a cemetery near a swamp.
That was Buckfield.
And it was that time of day where everything blends together, that dusk light. And we were investigating this cemetery, which did have quite a bit of activity. And we heard something splashing in the water, and we thought we heard people talking. And we looked back at the backside of the cemetery, and we looked back into the swamp, and this black mass just moved, and I'm like, that's a moose, we gotta go. And we ran right out of there because they're ornery. I'm all set with them.
Yeah, my wife has an affinity for mooses. She loves anything moose. She had a good Christmas this year with some moose stuff. So
We love Maine.
Adam wanted me to show you that. I talked about the graveyard where the murder happened.
Oh, Pikes Hill. Hannah knows about that because we talked about that one. We've been there many times. Actually, I'm gonna have her tell it because her mom's the one who told it to her originally.
In the mid to late 80s, a police officer was murdered right by that cemetery. It's suspected to have to do with drugs, 80s. And they never caught the person.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
that's got to be scary in itself, just being there.
it is. I didn't even know about it at first, but I've always had a love of this one cemetery. I just go there and hang out. There's this amazing cluster of like 8 hemlocks that grow together into one giant hemlock tree. But the murder happened October 13th, 1989, which is weird because I was born October 15th, 1989. So it was 2 days before I was born. But we've caught a lot of stuff in that cemetery. A massive shadow figure, something that looks kind of like a soldier. And where it was standing is right at a Revolutionary soldier's grave. Oh, there was something else about that too. It's a father and son.
Didn't Adam say Adam said, isn't he buried there now too?
Yeah, the guy we went and found his headstone, the guy that was shot,
That's cool.
Gravestone in there.
Wow.
Yep.
Have you ever tried to do like any EVP sessions or anything like that around his grave? Have you gotten anything?
Yeah. Not really. Not there.
No.
Because the way it's set up, when you look at it, you can tell that the left-hand side is all the old, broken, sunken in, like Revolutionary Civil War time.
Oh, right.
And then the right side is the more like recent stones. But there's like 17 unmarked Revolutionary and Civil War soldiers in that cemetery.
Wow.
There's a lot.
Now, where exactly are you guys talking about? I mean, what town or what state? And just so
Norway, Maine.
Norway, Maine. Okay,
yeah.
So you evidently live close enough to hang out with Mr. Began.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
We've gone out a couple times.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get to do that too.
Yeah.
Hang out with you guys too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Going out with Adam, you learn so much.
Yeah. And I've been trying to get out there this year actually, and because of the weather and the snow that you guys have had, it's just been really difficult, and so I told him I really want to, go out there, and maybe me and Shane will just come out there and
You
team
should.
up. There you go.
team
It's a
up.
beautiful place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you guys go to any paracons at all?
There's
No.
Not
there's
really.
nothing like that really
No.
around.
We
No,
don't
not near
really
me
have
either.
any here. You guys have one in Michigan though coming up, don't you?
Yeah, but it's a small one. It's like up at Grand Rapids land.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel
I've
like
never
I
been
would
to it.
like it. I
Yeah.
feel like it'd just be a big pissing match.
Yeah, that I kind of also think sometimes, there's kind of like two groups of ghost hunters. There's the
Mhm.
ghost hunters that are the techie sciencey, and then there's the ones that are, into the more of the how do you want to call it, the Comic-Con style
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Where they're more Ghostbusters, that
Mhm.
kind of a thing, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
so that that's more what it's like. It's more like a Comic-Con, the one
Right.
we have.
Right.
So I don't go to it.
We're pretty low key and basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only been to one paracon just because there was some people that I'm friends with on Facebook that I wanted to meet in person. So
Right.
Sure.
and I was able to do that, and it was pretty cool. I mean,
I would go for that.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was very a mutual, meeting type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do run into some different characters. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But talking about going to see Adam and maybe you guys, this is what Katie said.
Take my spaceship. Yeah, we have running jokes about going to space and aliens and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, take my spaceship. I'll drive. If you
I'm
guys,
sure
if
you
you guys
will.
pay for
Yeah.
gas for the spaceship, I'll drive.
Right. So yeah. So have you guys ever been out of the state to investigate, or is there a state that you would like to travel to investigate?
Louisiana.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Louisiana.
All right.
Yep. Learned to
Have
see
you been out of the state for anything like that?
Technically, I have. I investigated one or two cemeteries just over the state line in New Hampshire,
Okay.
but that's
Okay.
I wouldn't even really count that really.
Right. I was just at the Whaley House in San Diego, and
Nice.
that
Yeah, that's about as far away as you can get, Jay.
yeah, I know, right? Well, that's my daughter lives there, so
Oh, that makes it easier.
yeah. So her my son-in-law took me. He knew I wanted that was on my bucket list, so he took me out there, and
That's awesome.
that was cool. That was really cool. I mean, that was one of the places I really wanted to go, but every once in a while I get lucky. I don't travel all the time, but there's other places where I've traveled just to visit, like Estes Park, Colorado, with the Stanley Hotel. I've been there a couple different times. That's a beautiful place. I wanted to stay there on my 50th birthday, but because of health issues, I wasn't able to. But tickets there are very expensive. So,
bet.
but even just flying on a plane, when I went to San Diego, it was, it kind of sucked. I'm like, I don't mind flying, but man,
Yeah.
I think that they're making those seats smaller. I think it's
I
like
heard people say that.
every year, I think that they probably swap out the seats they take an inch off or something of those seats so they can cram more seats in those airplanes.
Yeah, whenever I
Because-
fly, it's always a private plane, so I don't gotta. They
Yeah.
pick me up
Yeah.
and they drop me off, and
Okay. Yeah.
I get
So
wherever I
when
need to go.
when we're going to see Adam and those guys, then we'll just take your private plane and call it good. I'm
There
okay
you
with
go.
that.
I'll hit them up.
All right. That would be awesome.
They'd make us pay for gas. That might not be, but
That might be kind of
otherwise,
spendy.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anything's possible,
Yeah.
But yeah. Adam said
Bangor Airport's closed.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. We need an overnight at the gingerbread house in Norway, Maine. What's the story? What's the story with the gingerbread
tell us about
house? Yes.
So the gingerbread house is somewhere I've been trying to get into. I emailed the town a couple years back, and they were supposed to put it to a vote, but I never went back and followed through. But it's this old house that was built. I think it was built by I think Adam would know more than me. I think it was built by a doctor, and it was built on a separate area than it's at now. It's this big Victorian looking, like gingerbread looking, beautiful, moldings, different cut. You name it. It's crazy. But they ended up picking it up and moving it up the street by like 2 blocks. And since it's been moved, people have reported at the original site, like white misty figures coming out of the ground,
Whoa.
or even figures being seen at the gingerbread house, like in the window as you drive by and whatnot. So
Really?
That's crazy.
Wow. That's. It sounds like it's pretty cool. I mean,
if you Google the gingerbread house, Norway, Maine, it'll have articles pop up about it.
Cool.
So.
wow.
Adam
me
says
see.
it was Richard Evans.
Thank
The-
you, Adam.
Richard
He's our
Evans.
man. He knows everything.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
told
he
you it
does.
was.
Richard Evans, built in 1852.
Yep.
Wow.
Very nice.
Yeah, if I have a question, anything on the East Coast, all I got to do is just ask him, and
Yeah.
and he'll tell me. I mean, yeah, it's like when you want to go to the East Coast, you want to experience some of the historical buildings and everything. That's who you take with you,
Yeah. And it's cool because out here, like just in Norway alone, you can walk through the woods and just find random foundations from old schoolhouses. Turns out there's 17 schoolhouse foundations in Norway alone.
Wow.
Not including the new ones, like 17 old abandoned foundations. And these places are huge. You can see, if you look closely, you can tell whether they got burned down or not. And
Wow.
Mhm.
yeah.
And I use my metal detector sometimes.
That's sweet.
That's
I love
something
metal
that
detectors.
yeah, that's something that's new. I've heard of other people actually doing that as well. As some of those historical sites that's burnt down or something like that. Even when you're doing a paranormal investigation, and then you get somebody brings out a metal detector, some of the things that you could find can be basically trigger objects. I
Yes.
mean, something that's buried in the dirt or whatever. And these, some people can get lucky in finding something. So yeah, I mean that's funny that you said that, because that's kind of a new thing now. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
yeah. I mean it's kind of, and it's not so much that it's people are being disrespectful or whatever, but it's more or less just one of those things where if you can do some metal detective at a place that's really not there anymore, and you have the permission to do it, then why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You never know what
mean,
you find.
And a lot of the paranormal groups and people understand that it's not so much that you're really locating for ghosts or spirits, or you're basically trying to find out the history of what was going on, and if you have a spirit there, they could tell a story or something like that, it's more or less just you want to know the history. You want to relive that history. You want to experience what that person went through.
Yeah.
So that, the best questions are, how did you die, or what did you do when you lived here? And some people don't get that, but there's enough of us in the paranormal field that do understand it. It's about the history.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Okay.
What is your MO, I would say, when you go into an investigation? Do you like to know what you're walking into? Like,
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. All right.
No.
I hear a
No.
lot of people say they like to know a lot about the place and, names.
No.
I need to know the address so I can get there.
Right. And that's
maybe
it for
who
me.
the owner is in case there's a problem. But otherwise, yeah.
Right. No, because I'm gifted as a psychic medium, and I do walkthroughs for people in haunted locations. I have a camera guy that goes with me. His name's Josh Hughes, and he's on my paranormal team, just me and him. And he doesn't tell me anything, and I don't want it like that. And he wouldn't, even if I asked. He'd be like, "Yeah, get bent,"
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's done that where I'll usually get messages like either anywhere from 2 weeks to a week to a day before, and then I'll have to send him a message and ask him, what are you working on, or are you working on something? And then I'll give him some details. He's like, yeah, you're on track. He won't tell me where we're going. And it makes it so much, that much more
Incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just when you find too much, it's kind of like opening your present on Christmas Day 2 weeks earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, when Christmas comes around, it's like, yeah, I already know what I got. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
I would
It's nice
rather
to
not know.
To not know and get this preconceived notion of what's going to be there, and then you get disappointed, or you get
Right.
yourself worked up.
Right.
Or you hear
Right.
things that aren't really there because you're listening for the words.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just best not to know. For me, anyways, it makes it more. I do have to tell a story. I did go do a walkthrough at a school once, an old school. I didn't get anything on this location. My buddy Josh, we kept asking me like a week before, have you gotten anything? I said, the only thing I'm getting is just a brick with writing, with a like engraving on it. That's it. That's all I got. Well, come to find out that it was an old school that had an engraving brick that was from like 1901 or whatever it was. So, so when I did this walkthrough, and I was in one part of the school, and I would see all these kids. I would like see like history, like people dressed in like the 50s. It was really weird. But then I would go into another part, and there wouldn't really be much there. And then come to find out, half of that building was torn down in the 50s because of structural damage, and so they had to rebuild it. So it was like a gap. It was really weird, but it was really cool. So it's stories, it's places like that kind of have a twofold meaning. You know what I mean? Because if I knew the truth, or if I knew beforehand, I would expect that.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, it's just that's just me, but
No, I agree.
Mm-hmm. You guys still have a lot of snow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys shit on us, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and we got snow that you left over.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
As long as it's not cold like it was, I'm fine.
Oh yeah, cold. It was cold. Holy crap.
Oh yeah.
At my work, the wind chill, the temperature plus the wind chill made it below 70 degrees.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's crazy. It was the coldest place on Earth for a short period of time.
Yeah,
I saw an article.
Yeah,
that place is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would like to, live in a warmer state, but I don't know. Then I'd have to deal with.
It's always trading hurricanes for snow.
Right? Yeah, you're trading something for something that's just as bad.
You're gonna pay.
Right.
You can't have it nice all the time.
Like my doctor said years ago, you should move to Arizona, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then you've got black widows and
don't eat.
And snakes.
Snakes and all that. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put my shoe on, then all of a sudden have a black widow.
I've been to Arizona, so yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've never been to Arizona.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Tombstone, Shane?
No, I was in old Tucson, and then Phoenix for a little bit, and then I did a visit of the meteor crater there, Grand Canyon, of course.
Right.
So, yeah, spent a month there.
Tombstone is on my bucket list. I really want to go there. So, yeah.
You just want to investigate it.
I do. I just want to do a walkthrough. I love doing walkthroughs because it's just so fulfilling. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't drink anymore, so I got to do something.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah. So what do you guys got coming up? Like, do you have any plans for anything that you're looking to investigate soon, or?
Haven't really talked a whole lot about it. We've been so damn busy, but
Life.
If we do, and well, not
Yeah.
if, but when, not if, when we do go out, go somewhere new that we haven't been. Because I have a theory on going to places repeatedly. I'm starting to feel like the longer you keep revisiting a place, the less you get. Like, I feel like you get a lot better evidence the first time or two that you go.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I've seen in our experience out here. All the good shit that we've caught has been right off the bat at a new place.
Right, right.
You go there for like the 4th time and you're getting bitch or get out.
Well, yeah, they're tired of you. You guys' shenanigans. That's what's going on right there.
Right.
You guys, there's shenanigans. They're like, nah, we're done with these two.
Yeah, right.
Move
And they're
along.
like they see him coming. Oh crap!
Not those
Yeah.
two again.
That was real. Where
Yeah. You kind of wonder sometimes too. It's kind of like, there's some of these spirits are like, these people again, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
you never know.
I always wonder that.
Well, in some locations, I mean, literally every weekend for the entire year is booked. So it's like the ghosts got to be like, oh my word, can I ever sleep?
Right.
Never leave me alone.
There was one location I won't name it, but it's kind of a popular place. But there was another medium that went to this location, and they treated it like a revolving door. They had so many people visit this place and this and that, and it was like a revolving door. And this medium said, the lady that is there is really pissed because they're getting the history wrong, because they're making stuff up and they're doing this or doing that. And it's kind of, you wonder how many places have actually just looked at, this is a money-making experience that we can just make money off of these spirits or whatever, instead of saying, I would like to educate people and have them, look at this as, hey, this is what people don't know of this place. You know what I mean? And I think it's a little bit of what I first said. I think a lot of people are like, oh, we can just turn this into a money-making beast and this and that. And if the spirits get upset like that, because number one, especially if you're telling history wrong,
It's disrespectful.
It is. I mean, to me, it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah,
they're probably like, I didn't die to become a friggin' circus act.
Right, and that's one of the things that medium said too. That the spirit basically said it feels like a circus because they had so many people go through this place, and it was just oversaturated.
Yep.
And I know people want to make money. I get it. But I don't know. There are so many different facets and sides to paranormal that it shouldn't be one track minded. That's just my opinion.
I look at it, if they want to make enough money to keep the place in good condition and usable for investigators, totally great. But if they're in there just to make bank and let it run down and whatever, it's like, no.
And that seems to be the going rate nowadays. I've seen quite a few. Even, I'm not going to name anything, but I know there's some places that are close by that I know that are, it's like, why? But our world's upside down anyways, so who cares?
Yes, it is.
So go ahead, Shane.
So Hannah, you said you're into all the techie stuff, and you talked about the photography, but what other kind of cool tech stuff do you do?
No, I mean, really just the photography and using the equipment and the video, the camcorders.
Sure.
I like the EMF to a certain extent.
Sure.
Because that's, we have to put our phones in airplane mode and basically scan ourselves.
Good.
And, but there's a lot of cell phone towers.
Oh yeah.
So I don't find that as
understood. Yep. So very good.
Yeah. Are you, Hannah? Are you basically the one that takes pictures, or do you guys both take pictures?
we both do.
Okay.
That's good.
So, what kind of phones do you have? Can I ask you that?
I have S22 and
Oh, that's a nice
camera
one.
doesn't
There
even
you
work.
go.
So
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I have an S20 Ultra. So yeah, Are you Android or Apple?
Android.
Android, yeah.
Becca,
I have an iPhone XR.
She's one of those people.
she's
What?
one of those
No.
people.
The,
I
the
don't-
Oh
iPhone
man.
people.
I don't like it for picture quality though
Yeah.
No,
at all. No.
no.
Nope.
Yeah. So, have you ever used the recorder on your phone, Hannah?
Yes.
Okay, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I do that.
It picks up everything.
It's pretty good.
It is. I mean, I where I work, at a country club. It's a private country club, and it's got activity. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And I have used my recorder on my phone, and then I've had a regular recorder in a part of the location of this building, and my phone picked up conversations from people practically upstairs. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And so that's why I like some of the other ones. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, my phone will pick up. I've picked up spirits on my phone before, but I mean, it's more or less with the kind of in the immediate within the like a 5-foot range. I think is just about right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you gotta
But-
be careful too with if you move your hand or
Yeah.
Right.
you-
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, understood. See, I use them for their magnetometer because they got a pretty nice magnetometer in there, and you can
Mhm.
set them to data log. So I'll set a bunch of unactivated phones, just old ones,
Mhm.
and I'll load that app on there, and then just set them around different areas, and then start them recording, and then pick them up at the end of the thing, just as background to know, as a second source for measuring EMF and GMF. So
Nice.
Right.
you can get them cheap.
Yeah. Have you Shane, have you thought about making any new equipment?
Oh yeah, we just finished a piece of equipment actually. I used it just last night for the first time.
Okay.
So yeah.
What does it do?
Well, how would I describe it? It's think of a 1970 CB radio
Okay.
that talks to the other side.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So basically that.
Does
so
it work? I mean, have you gotten stuff on it?
On the one investigation that's been on, I did not get anything.
Okay.
But
do you have a
that's it.
Do you have a picture of it, or do you have a?
Yeah, I can dig one up here. I think while we're talking.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. So that would be cool. And yeah, and if it works, then I want you to make me one.
There you go.
I've tried using an old Reader's Digest radio, like a really old one.
Oh yeah.
Like a spirit box. Yep.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I used to have one of those Frank Spirit Box, one of the original one, the Radio Shack ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that go for $400 now because people say they're classic and they work. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the name.
Yeah. I have a couple. I mean, I have one. John Huntington, I think his name is. Yeah, he made this.
I have one from him.
Yep. Yeah, I actually won this one, and out of 1,500 people, I entered it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was like, "Thanks." I mean, I never win anything, so
That happened to me. I won 2 sets of Eagles tickets for 2 nights in a row.
wow.
Not the Philadelphia Eagles. We don't do that.
Okay.
The band.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I never win anything, and this is the best.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, there's Mr. Josh Hughes. Josh is a good friend of mine. He lives about 45 minutes away from me, and I've known him for a few years. He's a really good editor. He does a lot of good editing for videos and stuff like that. He's actually a cameraman by trade. So he went to school for it, and so he's behind the camera all the time.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah, so yeah. So did you find it, Shane?
Yep, I just pushed it to you.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm excited now.
You guys are going to see things for the first time that you've never seen before, and it doesn't exist. Well, it
That
exists
is
now.
so. That is so freaking cool. Right on. Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, when you get it to, when you go to another bit of this investigation and get it to work, or something happens.
Oh,
and-
we'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, Josh wants to know favorite Eagles song. What's your favorite Eagles song?
Take It Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my favorite one because it's like the best.
Mhm.
But I really like Victim of Love and all those other, all of them. We'll go with that. All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good.
I would agree. I haven't listened to Eagles in a while. I go from different bands to different bands all the time, but
I actually have Take It Easy tattooed on my arm here, so I
Nice.
remind myself to take it easy.
That's cool.
that's awesome. So, do you guys have a collection, like a file on either one of you on on your computers or on your phone that you keep just for like EVPs? And how many would
Yeah.
you say that
Yes.
you average that you've caught, like, say, in a year?
Ooh,
A lot.
A lot?
dozen for
We
me,
catch
probably.
We catch a lot of EVPs, but not a lot of like great EVPs. We
Mhm.
have some really great EVPs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had one really good EVP in the last few years, but every once in a while I might get something. But yeah, it's really hard to do. Plus the fact that it's very difficult to sit and listen to audio for more than an
Oh my-
hour.
It lulls me to sleep. It's like
Yeah.
a lullaby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people really can relate to that. I mean, there's other people that could sit there and say, I could do this all day. I'm like, you
No, I'll
have
go to
at it.
sleep. See, I do the short bursts. I'll do ask a question, let it go, and then play it back right then. Listen, I'll leave it to keep it for later, but then it's just little bursts.
Yeah.
And then you also make a note. If you find something right there on site, write that one down and be ready. And
Yeah.
that way you don't have to go listen to it again later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to go in like 1 minute sessions when
Yep.
I do
Perfect.
like videos or audio. But then again, if you start getting something on the spirit box,
That might be a little longer.
stop it. Or
Yeah.
if you're me, you get distracted and forget, look down, you're like, shit, 3 minutes, something.
Oh well, life goes
Right.
on.
Yeah. Yeah. I average probably, because I've done a couple in the last week or so where I work, and I think the most that I had one per 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
and then there was ones per 12 minutes. I mean, it just depends, but yeah.
Friend of mine let me see their digital recorder and had me try it out, and it records it, but there's also a microphone in it with a headphone jack, so you can listen to it and it enhances your voice as you're talking through the headphones,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
but also records it, and it's really nifty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what are your opinions on, what the Estes method is?
With the spirit box, the blindfold, and
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you girls feel about that? Have you seen somebody do it in person?
not in person, no. But obviously we've seen it on shows and whatnot. but
Right.
We've never actually tried it out. It's something I do want to try out. I just
Yeah.
want the right place for it. Somewhere where there's like, it's away from things, to start
Mhm.
off with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in that agreement with you with that. I've never done it. I would
And I
like
think
to
Nat
do that.
AGC does the lucid method. It's a little bit different, but it's similar.
Yeah, and I'm not really that familiar with that either.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah. So basically, it's using a Lucid brand set of canceling headphones that have live mics, and so you're hearing in the EMF spectrum, and then you're listening, but you do it similar to the way you would do it for an Estes.
Oh,
You're just
That's
using a
cool.
different kind of headphones to enhance your ability to listen.
nice. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, there's so many different things that people are coming up with now that are just, you know, that like, why didn't I think of that? You know,
One
But-
thing I've noticed with EVPs, for me at least, is when I go in and I start asking direct questions, looking for answers, I might get something here and there. But if I'm just talking back and forth, not even about something related to the paranormal, with the person I'm with, we catch so many more EVPs, like in the quiet time in between talking and behind us talking. It's just weird.
I 100% agree with that because my wife reports exactly the same thing. When she's just idly chattering with person, she'll get a bunch
Yeah.
of great ones.
Yeah.
But when you're focusing, you don't get anything.
Nope. It's weird.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
but
kind of like
true.
it's kind of like you got to do it like on this, like kind of like just out of the blue, like, oh, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Like you're not
Yeah.
really expecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like it's because they don't feel like they're being interrogated.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
right.
Because no matter how kind you are, it's still kind of rude. I mean,
Mhm.
just walk up to somebody in public and at the Walmart and start. What's your
What is
name?
your name?
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
rough.
Walmart is a whole different number
Well,
of other beast right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's some things in Walmart.
yeah, there's things in
2
Walmart
a.m.
you
in
really
the
want to,
produce section.
yeah,
You'll find some weird ones.
right. So as of late, I'm kind of like been on a little bit on this like 1930s 40s gangsters stuff. I watch these programs and some of the stuff, and I'm fascinated with that lifestyle and that. And I've ran into a couple unsavory characters, and, but are there places by you or close to you or anywhere near that are traveling distance that were anything related to the mob that you know of?
I
Adam.
feel like Adam's
I
about
would know.
Yeah, I don't know.
he's
Most of it was around your Chi-Town area, Chicago.
Yeah.
we
Well,
had,
yeah.
The closest I can say is like Boston or
but
something.
that's more 80s and
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
80s mobs,
yeah.
drug lords.
Yeah. Chicago for us, it was. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a documentary on that, and connecting with some mobster spirits. There's a cemetery, I think it's in outside of New York or New Jersey or somewhere, where a lot of the old 1930s, 20s, and 30s gangsters are buried.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually kind of looked into it remotely a little bit, and there's a lot of gangsters still there. I mean, just like they're more afraid of the retribution than anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't want to cross over. But I just happened to think about it. I was watching a documentary on it, and I was like, man, I would like to go to that cemetery. Some cemeteries hold some really good stuff. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
you can really, out of respect for the deceased in their cemetery, it's just. Have you guys ran into anything really negative in a cemetery before?
Yeah.
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 I've seen it's kind of like the running theme. I mean, I've been to several different cemeteries, but the last one I was in, I kept seeing this figure that looked like he had a cape on and a top hat, and he was not very nice, and he was just really. And that's the same cemetery that my parents are buried in.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. A third of my family ancestors are buried in that cemetery. So yeah, I go there every once in a while to see my mom or my dad or whatever. But yeah, it's it's a beautiful cemetery, and I love the fact that nowadays there's been more people posting videos
okay.
on, people taking care of some of those old gravestones and cleaning them up and
Oh, I love
giving
those.
them different foundations and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
needs to be done more. You know,
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, just to kind of restore some of that
yeah.
that history. You know,
Yeah.
so
I really appreciate those. I find it awesome, and they'll tell us like a backstory on whose grave it is.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That is. I think that'll happen more on like TikTok. I think since that is
Yeah.
kind of like the new thing now. Everybody's on. I'm on TikTok. What can I say?
I'm not.
You're
I'm too
not.
old for that.
Shane, how old are you?
Well, let's see. Wednesday I would be 50.
Okay, so in May I'll be 51.
Because you just had a birthday.
No,
No, a while ago. I mean,
was I 50? No, I'll be 52.
hmm.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So
Way to date. I'd date myself right there. 52. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 52 years old. Oh. But I don't really look it, but I feel it.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
So
love
is there
the cat.
is there anything that you ladies wanted to talk about that you guys are going to be doing anything paranormal like as of just when something pops up, then you're going to go for it, or you're looking into exploring more, or if there's an area that you want to explore more that you haven't gotten to?
I want to get closer to the coast.
Okay.
Go by the coastline. Some of those older ones out that way, off the
Okay.
beaten path. Kind of like the abandoned, forgotten ones. Find some of those.
lighthouses.
Yeah, those two.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean anything historical and old. I'd love to go see. There's a place on the coast down here called Battery Steel. I mean, it's old, but it's not like super super old. But it's an old abandoned place with all these dark tunnels going through. It was like a fortress type thing at one point, and that looks pretty cool.
Right.
So,
Right. Let me ask you this. We'll have one more question. What's the worst experience you've ever had in the paranormal?
hang on.
I got it.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Enlighten us, Hannah.
Enlighten us. Let's hear it.
I was in the area of the Hebron Sanatorium. We were investigating a very old house, and then I was asked to cleanse it, and there was children's footprints coming out of the fireplace, like through the ash.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And two of us got pushed down the stairs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Holy
that
crap.
was, and this house has a chapel in it, like a full-on chapel.
Wow.
And that was the only place that felt, safe.
Holy crap.
And the Hebron Sanatorium obviously housed tuberculosis patients.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why it would be so negative. You know what I mean?
Was it a big building?
It was a big house, yes.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of those spirits, probably whoever's transcended through there because of tuberculosis or whatever, I mean, it's just a lot of people dying from that disease. There was a lot of people, and yeah, I could see why somebody would probably be pissed off or angry, or you know what I mean. Kind of feel like they got cheated, and I run into that a lot. I think at certain places, some spirits that are stuck or that they're there by choice, and they kind of hang out, and they just feel like that they've been robbed.
That's a good explanation. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I ran into a gangster like that. He was killed in a old house that was mobbed up, and they had like from the Prohibition era, cops raided it and then
Wow.
killed him, and his buddies left him to die. And
Ooh,
so when I ran into him, he was pretty pissed.
Mm.
You know, so yeah, I got berated when I got there. Every other cuss word you could think of, and he was an Italian.
And he thought of a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was like that was one of my first experiences being gifted and being a psychic, that I experienced that firsthand, that type of abuse. That was crazy. But yeah, so I think that there's a lot of those people that have passed that are just feel like I got fucking robbed.
Yep.
You know. So.
makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I drop out of here, I'm not doing an Irish goodbye. I'm at 4%.
Oh, well, that's okay because the show's at the end anyway. So.
Yep. Yeah.
So you timed that one just great. See, she has her tech ready.
See, there you go. So I wanted to personally thank you, Hannah and Becca. Thank you so much for coming on.
Been awesome.
This has been lots of fun. I've learned a lot from you guys. And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
We can't wait to hear a little bit more. What you guys come up with, and I'm thinking you guys should like have your own podcast.
There you go.
Yep.
We'll come on there. We'll hang out.
Right.
Totally have you.
We'll just put you guys on the top and we'll go on the bottom.
Right.
And we'll on the videos. So that way it'll be the same show.
Right.
Just opposite. We'll get quizzed and you.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So, something to think about. So thanks, ladies. I appreciate it.
We'll have more stuff coming up once we thaw out up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little
That
cold.
sounds good. All right, everybody. I want to thank our guests, and I want to thank Shane. And it's has been a great show for Sunday night. And we have another show back to back. Actually, next Sunday we have a really good guest, and I will get that poster out probably Monday or Tuesday. So look for that. And then I think we take a week off, and then we have another guest. And so after that, our schedule is a little open. So if anybody would like to be on the show in the future, just send me an email at spiritualrealms0101@gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook, and I will do my best to get back to you. So we'll say goodbye to Becca, and say goodbye to Hannah.
Bye.
All right, folks. Bye. We'll see you later. Those gals are great. So, yeah. So, yep. So, everybody, we have a great show next week. Don't miss it. We'll talk to you later.